What is up, guys? Alright, I'm here with another new video, y'all. And as y'all can see, today's video, bro, we're gonna be talking about Jayson Tatum and is he the future of the NBA? That's the question for this video. And I know Luka, Zion, and Trae Young are some more guys that are really young and really good. Devin Booker can also be in there. But we're gonna be questioning this video is about Jayson Tatum and just how good can he be? How good is he now? How good, what does his future hold? And talking about the potential that I believe that he might have. But look, before we get into this lit banger video, bro, like I always say in my videos, man, make sure you go follow my Instagram at Carter Moment, man. I'll be on there pretty frequently, my dogs. Go follow me over there, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into this banger video, you guys. So starting off, let's talk about the Boston Celtics and what's been happening with them. So I recently just did a video on the Boston Celtics, so I don't have to say much, but basically they lost to the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA first round of the playoffs, and they got beat 5-1, was it? Yeah, they lost in 5 games. But I mean, it was a really good series. Tatum dropped 50 in one of the games, I believe. I mean, he got himself a win against the Nets big three that really showed how good Jayson Tatum is and how good he can really be, to be honest. And watching that game, I don't think I actually watched it. That game where Tatum dropped 50, I think I was at I was at a dance. I didn't watch it, but I remember coming home, and I was at that dance, man, and I checked my phone and I was like, you know what? I bet that the Celtics are down 3-0. I checked my phone and the series said 2-1. I checked the box score in the middle of an outside dance. I checked the box score and this man had 50 points, and I immediately came home and I was like, bro, what the heck, bro? Like, when I got home, I was just like, how? Like, how did he do that? And one of the big things about Tatum is that he's at the stage where he's great and he's reaching his potential. Right now, he's on the upward scale, right? Almost how KD was in Oklahoma City, where he's getting better and better, but we can see the improvement. But he's also at the state where he could be a top 15 player in the league. But he's also at a state where you can tell that he's not polished all the way. You can kind of tell that he has a lot more growing to do. A lot of aspects of his games that can be better. And that's the state that Tatum is at right now. And that's kind of like the state that KD was in at one point, where KD was putting up these amazing stats, having 27, 28 point per game seasons, while still being under 27. You know what I mean? And you can see the upward scale of how good KD was getting, and you could also see how good he could end up being. That's what I'm seeing with Tatum right now. So let's talk about Jayson Tatum and what he really did last season, because I don't think a lot of people understand the significance of the offensive season that Jayson Tatum just had. Last year, Jayson Tatum averaged 26 points per game, 27 points per game. Jayson Tatum last season, dude, I don't feel like people understand. He had a 60-point game last season. That was amazing. In that game, people don't understand the significance of what he did in that game. I don't think people really understand, because people haven't talked about what he did. Like, we haven't been really talking about it. Like, the significance of that game in a couple years, it's gonna go down in history. Not in a couple years, but in about a decade or years, 2040, 2045, people gonna look back on that game and be like, what? How did we not respect it? That is one of the greatest basketball games I've ever watched in my life. Like, and people don't understand, like, what he did, the significance of what he did. His team was down 32 points at halftime. Jayson Tatum's team was down 32 points at halftime. Like, do we understand the significance of what this man Jayson Tatum did? Like, you're down 32 points at halftime, and you come back and win with 60 points. That was the greatest performance that I've ever watched. Not the greatest performance, but that is the greatest performance that I've ever watched from, like, I don't know how to say it, because okay, I've witnessed better performances than that one, but like, really being invested into that performance. Now, Steph Curry's 62-point game, I sat there and I watched it. But that Steph Curry 62-point game wasn't really a performance. So I'm trying to word it right. A performance, like, not like a lot of points or like a game where a approved type of game, or like, you know, that was a performance. That was the greatest performance. Like, you know what I mean? From being down 32 and coming back, and a guy dropping 60, and D'Lo hitting a clutch shot to send the game into overtime. Like, that game was like, it was a performance. It wasn't just, you know, a game where Steph had 62, because Steph Curry having 62 might have been the best game I've watched in a long time. But, you know what I mean, it probably wasn't the best game I ever watched, but it was one of the, you know, best games that I've watched in a long time last year. But as performance-wise is what I'm trying to get it off there. As performance is like a, you know, a nail-biter, like down 32, coming back, dropping 60, D'Lo hitting a clutch shot, overtime, Tatum doing his thing. You know, that game was the greatest performance I have ever watched. Because I've never had a game where I watched and I was like, oh, in a few years, there's going to be a storyline. Like, they can do a documentary about that in one particular game. That was a crazy game. People underestimate it. And so, thinking about Jayson Tatum and where his future is, and this is just my opinion, because I did a video on Bradley Beal the other day, and somebody got mad that about me saying that Bradley Beal needed to be traded. And I want to just stretch this out. This is all opinions. Like when I did the Pistons video, like a few people got, you know, upset that I was saying that Green might end up being better than Cade. You know, or that Killian Hayes might get in the way of Cade. A lot of people might get mad. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the point across that it's just opinions. I'm here to argue about basketball. So this is just an opinion. I don't want to tick anybody off. But from my opinion, I believe Jayson Tatum has the potential to be a top 10 player of all time when he retires. From my opinion. It's not a fact nor fiction. It's a opinion-based quote that I just gave you. Alright? I believe that Jayson Tatum, by the time he retires, could have the chance to be a top 10 player of all time. And I'm saying this because of what I have seen, some of the things that this man has done just this season. Like dropping 50 is great. Dropping 50 on one of your, you know, childhood friends and Bradley Beal, and dropping 50 on an all-time great point guard in Russell Westbrook on the same team for a spot in the playoffs is even better. Dropping 50 in a playoff game is goated, you know, to avoid, you know, being in a hole that you can't dig yourself out of. That is a very important game, and that is crazy. But dropping 50 against a big three that might be the greatest offensive team of all time, to clinch yourself in a series, to make it still competitive? Oh, that's even better. You know, dropping 60 on the Minnesota Timberwolves, you might be like, oh, anybody can drop on the Timberwolves. They're not that good of a team. But being down 32 at halftime without your full squad and coming back from down 32 to drop 60 and in overtime, you know, clinch on to a win, oh, that's even better. So, you know what I mean? You could have, you know, give up all these great games that somebody could have. But, you know what I mean? Tatum, I've watched Tatum, and I've been really invested with Tatum for a long time. Ever since his first year in the league, because I am a big Kyrie Irving fan. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, my favorite player is Steph Curry. People don't understand. My favorite player is Steph Curry, but I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan. I am. People think that, you know, they think, oh, you're a Steph Curry fan. You can't like Kyrie. You can't like Westbrook. You can't like Dame. But I like Kyrie. One of my favorite players. I was a huge Kyrie Irving fan. And the moment I started watching Kyrie, I started seeing Tatum. I was like, I need to give that cat the ball more. The thing that, you know, people don't understand is you can have a big game all you want, but the stakes of that game matters. Dame having a 50-point game against the Los Angeles Clippers is a good game, but the stakes weren't high. Steph Curry dropping 62 on Dame is different because Steph Curry had to prove himself. That was a provement game. You know, when you know, anybody just drops a random 45, 50-point game against a random team, it doesn't really matter. But the stakes have to be high. I've never seen Tatum drop a game over 40 that did not matter. That's the thing about Tatum. And he shows up when it matters the most. Tatum will have a bad game, but that game, it's not. If it don't matter, it don't matter to him. You know, if it's a regular season game, he'll have a bad game. I've never seen him have a horrible game in the playoffs. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him have such a horrible game where he's going like 2 for 13 or something. I've seen him do that in the regular season. At the minimum, every single playoff game that I've seen, he's giving you double digits. He's not gonna give you a single digit game in the playoffs. Cause he shows up when it matters the most, and that's what puts somebody in the GOAT debate, when you show up when it matters the most. Right? You think of James Harden. Harden is a great player. But why are we not classifying Harden better than Dwayne Wade? Because there's a difference. Dwayne Wade shows up when it matters the most. And when it doesn't, Dwayne Wade is an average, you might see him as an average superstar. Well, Harden, when it doesn't matter, he looks like some superstar. And when it doesn't matter the most, we see him as an average all-star. There's a difference. You must show up when it matters the most. And Tatum shows that quality already with showing up when it matters the most. And that's what I'm projecting his future off of. I'm projecting him to be that type of guy. Because from what I've seen so far, he has shown up when it matters the most. And that makes for a great NBA superstar. That's where we're going to cut the video off, man. If you like this video, man, like with the video, bro. Comment. Make sure you subscribe, man. Subscribe. You seen this video, subscribe, bro. Because there's a lot of people that have been watching the videos, bro. And y'all got to subscribe, bro. I'm telling you, the content goes crazy. The videos are crazy. Everything's crazy. I think I'm going to get into more cheerless videos. I think I'm coming up with a different idea for videos as well. Like, I'm thinking about a lot of things. I got a few things up my sleeve. So, yeah. We're going to get into all that. But, yeah, make sure you drop a sub, bro, because I'm telling you, the content goes crazy. And, yeah, share this video to all your family, all your friends, your basketball nerds that you might be arguing with. And, that's going to be it for me, man.